Welcome to our Atlas Canopy installation video presented by Architectural Fabrication. First, let's take a look at the Atlas components list. Gutter beams, support arms, J-trim, soffit panels, C-channel, deck pans, fascia, flashing, and scuppers. When we're at the job site, we need to locate all of our materials, such as the gutter beams, the soffit panels, the J-trim, the fascia panels, which are ACM for this project, the hardware and fasteners, sealant, and shop drawings. The first step is to install the gutter beams and support arms. The drawings show the above finished floor measurement to be at 9 feet.
And that's to the bottom of the soffit.
This measurement actually includes the soffit panel, which is 1 inch thick. So when we make our measurement to mark our wall for the bottom of the gutter beam, we need to make it at 9 foot 1 inch to leave room for the soffit panel. Now we simply take our level and make a level mark across the wall. Next, we mark the center of our gutter beams and support arms. Now we need to mark the wall to drill the holes for the gutter beam. For this, we simply line up the gutter beam with the line we made on the wall and mark the holes with a pencil. Next, we drill the pilot holes using a 3/8 masonry bit. Next, install a few fasteners and check your level. Once your level is right, go ahead and secure the fasteners. Now we can make our measurement for the next support arm. We can mark the wall and install it using the same method as the gutter beam. Repeat this process until all the gutter beams and support arms are installed. Here we have pulled a string across the bottom of the beams that we use as a guide when leveling. The next step is to install the C-channel around the perimeter of the canopy. Simply make your measurements and make your cuts. When installing the C-channel, we recommend using some sort of C-clamp to hold it in place while inserting the fastener. Make your measurements and continue cutting to install the rest of the C-channel around the perimeter. Once the C-channel is installed, we're ready to install the deck pan. We start with one deck pan flush with the end of the canopy. Once aligned, go ahead and install the fasteners. From here, we take another piece of the deck pan along with a piece of the top cap. The top cap will be used to connect the two deck pans together. Simply snap the pieces together using the grooves and install the fasteners. This pattern will be used all the way back to the wall. Before we cover up the gutter beam with the deck pans, we need to cut the hole for drainage. Here we check our shop drawings for their measurement. We make our marks and drill our hole. Once the hole is drilled, we need to add our PVC drain cap. Be sure and add plenty of sealant around the edges. Now go ahead and insert the cap into the hole. With the drain cap installed, you can go ahead and finish out the rest of the deck pan. Depending on how the spacing lays out, the last deck pan might need fasteners installed. These should be about 8 inches apart as shown here. Next, we need to drill the drain holes in each of the deck pans. Make sure the drain holes line up with the gutter beam directly below. Next, we need to apply sealant to each end of the deck pans. Be sure and use plenty of sealant here as we need a watertight seal. We also need to add an end cap at each end of the first deck pan as shown here. Be sure to use plenty of sealant here as well. Continue to add sealant to every deck pan. Next, we need to install the C-channel framing. This is what the soffit panels will attach to. Simply cut them to fit in between the gutter beams and support arms. These will attach to the welded angles on each arm or beam. Once the C-channel framing is installed, you're ready for the skin out. We'll start by installing the J-trim. Once cut to size, go ahead and install the J-trim to the framing. Now we're ready to install the soffit panels. First, we get our overall canopy measurement and our soffit panel length measurement. After measuring the entire length of the canopy, figure out how to lay out the soffit panels so they are symmetrical. Don't just start with the full panel and go from there. We start by marking the panel and cutting it to the correct length. Once the panel is cut, we can rip it to the correct width needed for the first panel to be installed. From here, we take a handheld roll former to recreate the edge that we just stripped off. Before we can install our first soffit panel, we need to cut a hole for our PVC drain. Simply take the measurements, mark up the panel, and cut the hole. With the hole cut, now we can pull off the plastic and install the panel. Here we just line up the soffit panel, insert the fastener, being sure that the panel stays square to the wall. From here, the soffit panels are just cut to length and attached to the framing. Continue this all the way down the canopy. For the last piece, we'll have to rip another soffit panel to fit. For this, we'll use the same process as we did for the first panel. This particular installation required some separate pieces of sheet metal to be used while attaching the last soffit panel. Different combinations of canopy and fascia will require different means and methods. Refer to your specific drawings for more details. Now we're ready to install the fascia. For this project, it's a pre-cut ACM fascia. Here we bend up the edges, making sure that they are at a 90-degree angle and also being careful not to overbend. We do this for all edges of the fascia. For this particular canopy, the fascia will be installed in two pieces. Both pieces can be bent up at the pre-cut locations. It's always a good idea to check your measurements on pre-cut materials. They can be modified in the field if needed. Now we simply move the fascia into position, square it up, and insert the fasteners. Repeat this process on the other side. Once the fascia is secured from the top, we can go along the bottom and insert the fasteners. Continue this process until the fascia is secure. Once the fascia is secure, we can remove all the protective plastic. Next, we need to add sealant to our seam in the front of the canopy. For this, we need to carefully tape off each side, top and bottom, to ensure a good-looking seam. This can be a tedious process, but spending a little extra time here can greatly improve the appearance of your canopy. Carefully add sealant as shown here. Carefully wipe off the excess sealant with your finger. You can use a paint scraper or a putty knife to make the final smooth edge. Next, carefully remove the tape to inspect the seam. It should look something like this. Next, we need to add sealant to our flashing. On this particular project, the flashing was installed prior to the wall panels. If you need more details on flashing, please visit our website. With walls with uneven surfaces, be sure and add extra sealant in all the uneven areas. The last step is to install the scupper. First, we need to add a PVC extension as shown here. Be sure that the PVC extension runs down below the bottom of the soffit panel. When you're ready to install the scupper, refer to the drawings, paying attention to the directions shown in the drawings, and insert the fasteners. It should look something like this. All that's left to do now is to wipe down the canopy and take some good completion photos, and you're done. You're ready for the next one. Thanks for watching. For more videos like this, please visit our website at www.arch-fab.com.